From Detroit to the nations, you are listening to the world's #1 Christian station, Worship Center Radio, the platform of champions.
God bless you. You've logged onto the Preached Word broadcast. Our program format consists of sound biblical teaching, the unadulterated Word of God, teaching series, invited guests, and interviews. I'm Pastor Constance Harvey, your program host. Now let's go into today's program. God bless you. We're back again with Dr. Jesse Jackson from the Best Man Company. And Dr. Jackson, I tell you, this has been so marvelous, so marvelous. Part 1 has been absolutely mind-boggling. Our listening audience out in the other room are just being rejuvenated, and everyone is telling each other that the Lord is telling them the same thing that you're telling us right now. So we're excited about that. We left off before the break on why are we emotionally stuck? And the question was, are you emotionally stuck? And some of the emotional drama and trauma that we go through after the death of a loved one, a bad relationship, a bad divorce, financial stress, molestation, father rejection, mother rejection, can cause one to be emotionally stuck. And some of the pointers that you gave us in the first segment showed us how to get out of these situations, how to learn how to take care of ourselves and stop trying to be savior of the whole world and allow Jesus to do his job to save. He saves. Amen. Absolutely. Amen. Praise God. And so we're going to let you continue because I don't want to miss anything. And we want you to have enough time to bring this to a real full closure, that everyone can have everything that they need at this particular time. And be sure to call the number. As he give you the telephone number throughout the segment, call. You may have a question. You may have an answer. Go in and download, share this particular streaming program with others that may be in need of this type of teaching and deliverance. You can call 248-796-8241. Again, the number is 248-796-8241. Dr. Jackson, I'm going to get out of the way and just give you plenty of time to do what it is that you do.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Well, good to be back with you guys. Good to see everybody here. A lot of things to cover. Let's get right back to work. Everybody get your pencils and pads. If you're driving, please record, listen, call somebody who needs to be listening, and make sure you download and share the link and have all your Facebook friends and your Twitter friends to download the link so everybody can get some help. We're talking about how do we rebuild a broken human being and rebuilding a broken heart. We've already said that people have got used to getting hurt, and it's very important to understand that being hurt is not normal. That's not okay. It's not a normal thing. I need to always clarify is, as I am a therapist, I'm a clinical therapist, that's what I do. I'm definitely a believer. God has blessed my life. However, I spend a lot of my energy making sure that people understand the clinical process, because that often gets overlooked. Now, as we go back, last week we talked about the father, and we talked about what our dad meant to us. But this week, we're going to take it to another level here. Now, what's the next level of this? What our mother means to us. And what I'm finding is that you have so many people. I've never seen this amount of individuals in the world that have a bad relationship with their mother. And it needs some clarity. We need to fix this thing, and we're going to clarify a lot of this right now. So I want you to think about this. We call it is mama issues, and we call it the oppressive mother syndrome. When we look at the relationship, what's going on with so many mothers around the world, we call it that oppressive mother syndrome. What would that look like? Well, it would look like having a situation with your mother where your mother's manipulative, where your mother has abused you, where your mother has been has lied to you. You may not know who your father is. Your mother may be the person or the reason why you're not married. Your mother might be the reason your marriage has failed yet again. People have got to start looking at, particularly when you come from a minority community, we are taught don't say anything about negative about mom. Well, as we look closer and you get to peeling it back, man, when we start looking at why the generations are falling apart, man, you better take a good look at the state and the emotional wellness of mom. And that's what we're going to do right now. I think you need to do it. I think you need to check and see where you're at and why you are where you are. Now, we have to say that the mother-child relationship is while it's the most fragile, it is the most relevant to any human being. So I always say you can make it without your daddy because that's emotional. But if you make it without your mother, I mean, that means you had divine intervention kick in because it's almost impossible to do because our mothers decide who we are. Mama issues causes us to have this negative attitude about life. It causes us to be disrespectful. So we see these disrespectful young people, women disrespecting women, men disrespecting women. They learn that from their mother. They learn to devalue for people from your mother. And this is a disease now. And when you see the violence and you see what's going on in Chicago and you see what's going on around the world and you ask yourself, why are all these people so violent? I can link it back to mama issues. The anger comes from the daddy, but the violence is coming from the mother. Let me show you what I mean when I say this. Now, it breaks down on 6 different levels. So type 1 would be the jealous mother. Okay, so think about that. A mother who's jealous of her children. Jealous of your relationship with your kid's father. Jealous. It's pretty weird, dude. That's just crazy. Think about that. But we have a generation who has lived through that. What that is a mother whose love needs are not met, and she is bitter that she hasn't got what she needed. So now she's going to take it out on the kid. Jealous of your relationship with your father, so won't let you see your father. Me and the baby, all right, we don't need you. We don't need anything from you. That's jealousy because the kid didn't say that. The kid said, anything my daddy got for me, you better send it. Let me hold something, Pops. You heard me? So number 2, envious mother. Envious of what you doing in your life. And they often say things, well, if I hadn't had y'all, my life would be different. You see her, the bitterness, this envy in the mother, the lying mother who won't tell the children who their father is and won't tell them, and that's pretty devastating. I mean, when your mother lies to you about who your father is and you find out as an adult. An abusive mother, a mother who calls you anything but your name. A manipulative mother who manipulates you to the point where you are essentially committed to her for the rest of your life. I've heard, being a marriage counselor, I've had people come in there and say, well, that's my mama. I can remember one couple specifically that, their marriage was in the toilet because this man was in love with his mama. And his mother used to disrespect his wife at such a high level that it was literally coming down to one or the other. And guys, I will be god dog, man. That man chose his mama. Left a wife and 2 young kids because that wife disrespected his mother. That's manipulation. The mother planned it that way. And where did he go back to stay? At his mother's house. That's what we're talking about. And last but not least, the passive mother. This is a mom who will let her kids get molested, or keep a boyfriend around, knowing the boyfriend's not good for the program, knowing the boyfriend is doing X, Y, and Z, but she will keep that man in her life. She's that self-centered that she has put her kids absolutely not even second. She's put her kids fifth and put the man ahead of the kids. And she knows the girls are being molested, boys are being molested, but she turns a blind eye. These are the disease patterns that we see when we look at mama issues. Now, there's 10 specific things that we need from our mom. And I mean, it's very important, so I want you to get detailed on this. Number one, our mother's job is to set high expectations for us in life. Our mother's job is to develop our etiquette and our appropriateness in life. And a lot of people, if you think about that, a lot of people are so socially and emotionally illiterate because their mother didn't teach them etiquette. You got a lot of men who don't know how to eat food, don't know how to use silverware, don't know how to present themselves because their mother didn't teach them etiquette. They don't say thank you, they're rude. They learn the etiquette is learned from mom. I mean, one of the things we're really strong on in our family, in our house, is about saying thank you. And that's something that you learn from your mother. Your mother makes sure that your manners are intact. Your mother decides, number three, your path of early childhood education. So which means your mother's deciding and introducing you to education. And when you're seeing these kids having all these problems in school, you can look at, if you have a mother who's on drugs, you have a mother who's dealing with her own issues, she doesn't have the energy. Her love tank doesn't have enough in it to invest in her kids. I mean, I'm watching what my wife's doing with my kids. Man, that stuff is over. I mean, it's crazy. That's what a mom should look like. I mean, literally pouring into their kids and doing wonderful things. And it's really something we got to stop. When you see these children are not being educated, we're blaming the teacher. And I'm telling you clearly, when you have an uneducated youth and kids who reading and writing and math is low, you better check that mom. Because we have a lot of moms who aren't educated themselves. And so we need to go back and track where this pattern of uneducatedness came from. And what we always need to start with is in our generation of pool first. It's great to research history. History will be of no use to you if you don't know who you are, starting with your daddy and your granddaddy, your mama and your grandmother. Are you with me? Raise your hand if you're with me. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. Raise your hand if you're comprehending and getting this. This is what it is. Number three, mother's job is to hold your father to a high standard. Your mother's job, number 5, is to nourish us and teach us good health habits. This is why we have a nation that's unhealthy, eating out of a bag and a box. Number 6, our mother's job is to clothe us and teach us fashion and style. So you see, I know particularly, I didn't have any fashion or style. We were impoverished. We grew up poor. So I didn't have nice clothes and things like that. So I didn't get, for lack of a better term, fresh or nice clothes. My wife buys every piece of clothing I have. And that's the only reason I'm looking halfway decent today. You understand what I'm saying? My wife buys every article of clothing I have. Literally, every single one. Introduced me to new brands, the whole shot, ties, the whole shot. And thank God she did, because that's how I learned style, watching what she's putting together. Okay, I complained a little bit at first because I didn't have good sense. Okay, right. So number 7, mother's job is to teach their children about hygiene and grooming. Never seen such a generation of kids that are so poorly groomed. I've never seen. It's just amazing to see so many men and women. In my marriage counseling practice, like one of the number one complaints of the wife was the husband's hygiene. That's mama issues, guys. That's serious stuff. It's the truth. Mama's job, number 8, is to teach us and influence our morals and values. The right and wrongs of life. Number 9, mother's job is to teach the value of timing. That means your mother's teaching you when it's time to leave home, when you should be leaving home, when it's appropriate to leave home, if it's all right to go to college or go away to college or not. Your mother knows timing. Are you ready to get married or not? That's the value of having a mother in your life. And then number 10, our mother's job is to promote a relationship of what we consider friendship love. Friendship love is unique because your mother should actually end up in life being your best friend. Your mother should actually, in this lifetime, end up being your best friend. We have people who hate their mother. We have people who, their relationship with their mother is so bad, that they don't even send a text message on Mother's Day. That's at a high level of hurt. Now, once again, think about the love languages. We would have to know, if we had a bad relationship with our parents, we got to know how to heal from that. We have to know the process. So now we looked here. We've seen this is what's up with our mom. This is what we need from our mother. This is what we need from our father. Anytime you're having problems, you should always go back and check your core. Anytime you're having problems in life, you should always check your core. Anytime you're having issues in this lifetime, check your foundation. Always check it there, because now you can see where I got this from, where I got the belief from, and now I know how to move forward. What I want to end today's broadcast and program with today is what would be then the 21 laws of healing and wellness. There's many other things we could talk about, but I want to leave you empowered. I want to leave you in a place where you can get better on your own. How do you rebuild a broken human being? How do you rebuild someone who has experienced excessive amounts of traumas, who have experienced some things that we all know are unthinkable? Infidelity, financial problems, divorce, and marital issues. What I want to show you here is I need you to not miss this, because here's what we're going to do. The 21 laws break down like this. We have 7 laws which are for your spirit. So how do you start this process? You feed the spirit, renew the mind, then your physical body and actions will change. Feed the spirit, renew the mind, not crazy, renew it, new knowledge, new things, and then you change your physical outcome. That's how the process works. Any way outside, you always start from the inside out. You always start, when you're trying to make a lifelong change, you start from the inside out. Sometimes you do have to start from the outside and go back in. Sometimes you do. But when you're trying to get healed, you got to start from the spirit, new information, new knowledge, and then you'll see it out here in the physical world. All right? Now, first thing as we go here would be 21 laws of healing and wellness. And here are the 7 laws of healing the human spirit. This is beautiful. I'm excited for you. Number 1, the most important law in the world would be what? The law of love. The law of love. So which means now when you're going to fix your issues, you are in a situation where you're going to need love. Why? The writer told you love will never get you beat. Now, who is the person you have to love first? This is a really great point here. I'm getting inspired right now. I'm getting pumped up right now. People are under the impression that loving others is like the way in life. Let's break this down. The writer said it this way. He said that we should love the Creator with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And we should love our neighbor as ourselves. So you should love the Creator with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And you should love your fellow man as who? Yourself. Well, aha. Poof. Loving God and loving your neighbor is on equal par with loving yourself. The problem is people don't love themselves. That's it. That's a home run. We would talk about loving other people and doing great things for other people, but guys, we lost a whole generation of people who know how to do anything nice for themselves. Unlearned, just put themselves last, and they're bitter about it. I talked to a client yesterday. She's out of state in Arkansas. Lady said to me, and she's talking about getting married. She's trying to get married. She's having man issues. She's having problems in her life. She says this is what she does with men. She says she just doesn't let a man buy her anything. She said she was like she attracts guys that live off her resources. When she got a man who wanted to do something nice for her, she said she didn't know what to do, so she drove the guy away. We went back and checked the trauma of her youth, and she said, well, her mother used to just have men buy her stuff, but they never married her. So what did she say when she was a little girl? I'm not going to be like my mama. I'm not going to be like mama, so I'm not going to let a man do nothing for me. Just like her mama. Just like her mother. Just like her mother. In a different personality. Her mother took the resources from guys and got played. She doesn't want the resources. She's refusing love, the very thing she wants, and now she's equally as bankrupt. The first law of the Spirit is to always be able to love yourself. Everybody repeat it with me. Love yourself. Say it again. Love yourself. And people say, well, how do I love myself? I'm going to walk you through how to love yourself. People say, well, that's being selfish. I don't want to be too selfish now. It's a difference between selfishness and love. We're going to get to it. Awesome. Number 2, the law of faith. Who should you have faith in? Yourself. People say, have faith in God. The writer said, have faith in God. Also said, have faith in yourself. To not have faith in yourself and to give God all the credit for the great things in your life is flawed. Listen, people will say, well, look what a great job God did with this farm. Yeah, you should have seen it before God had it. It was empty until you sowed the seed. Knock it off, dude. Stop. People are just trained. That's being fake. Stop. It's all right to say, I did a good job. I'm a part of my comeback. The Lord helped me. Thank you, God, for helping me. But I'm a part of my comeback. I helped myself. I did my work. I did my job. I got up and did my exercise. I renewed my mind. I did my work. It's nothing wrong with appreciating you. Hello? I need America to say, raise your hand. America, say this out loud. Say, I love Dr. Jackson. And Dr. Jackson loves me. Amen. All right, right. So you're right, because I'm helping you I love you, and you got to love yourself. You better do something about. People just think that's humility to give God all the credit. Man, dude, you and God are partners. You're partners. He needs you to physically do things. He needs you to carry out and be a person that represents love that people want to be like. Nobody wants to be around you know, why are they attracted to people that's dressed nice, fresh, got nice clothes, look like they moving in life? Because they got something going for themselves. They loving themselves. They're doing things for themselves. Society frowns upon people who shows love to themselves. We don't like people who do that. You know why? That's the devil. That's evil, trying to promote us to be selfish and ignorant and abuse ourselves. No go. Number 3, the law of what? Words. The law of words says this. I know the words I use promote me, develop me, make me strong, make me feel better. I can actually kill myself and cut myself down. I can kill myself or cut myself down. I can kill myself or cut myself down with my own words. I have to stop people from talking negative about who? Themselves. Think about that. I have to stop people from talking negative about themselves. Oh, you know, I don't need too much. Oh, I'm just so stupid. Where are you getting this from? It's called learned self-abuse. Your words can elevate you. Your words can ruin your life. What you say and how you live and how you conduct yourself, your words will dictate your path. Now, guys, these rappers are living that stuff out. You got some of the greatest rappers of all time prophesied their own death, talking crazy on the record. You got some rappers that's out here rapping about being rich. You know, the Cash Money Millionaire guy say he started with $40,000 of dope ones and got into the record business and said his name was the Cash Money Millionaire with $40,000. He didn't cuss his way into millions of dollars. Something to the power of words, man, that can make you become what you said you are. So from this day forward, everything you say will happen, bad or good. You choose. The power of life and death is in the tongue, but the power of life and death is in your tongue. No one can bring you any place you don't want to be. Your tongue is going to decide who you become and where you go. Number 4, the law of time. The law of time. It takes time to recover, guys. It takes time to recover. It takes time to get better. It takes time to work yourself through a trauma. You got to allow time for recovery. A lot of times when people go through infidelity and the person who was forgiven often, and particularly a guy. So if a guy has a wife and he's got caught up in infidelity and the wife gives him a second chance and, things are going good in the relationship, like, we getting back on the same page. And all of a sudden, one day his wife wakes up feeling some type of way. And he like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And she just mad, don't want to be bothered, almost about to put him out the house. But the night before, everything was great. Well, what's happened is that those traumas take time to recover from. See, they take time. And a lot of times, men and women like to move on quickly from a trauma. Now, we're not talking about just an argument. No, we're talking about a trauma. You cheated. We had a physical fight. These are traumas, That's trauma. That's traumatic. So it takes time to recover. It takes time. Unfortunately, with infidelity, it takes years to get back to that level of trust. Years. So this is why I tell guys, don't do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Number 5 is the law of prayer. And who are you praying for? Me. People say, you got blessed, you pray for friends, but you need to learn how to pray for yourself and lift yourself up with your own words communicating to the Creator. How do you lift yourself up? You don't talk about, Lord, if you think or if you believe it's your will and things like that. You don't do things like that. Those are not the type of things that are encouraging. Those are not the type of things that promote the type of life you want. You got to ask yourself one thing. When you pray for yourself, do you believe it's going to happen or not? There's no crapshoot in praying to God. You pray to God directly and straightforward, not in theory. Well, if it be your will, that means you don't even know what God wants. So why would you say that? And a lot of people are bad prayers. I pray with confidence. The writer said, boldly come with approach boldly as if this is what it is. We pray these scary prayers, the if it be your will prayers, and that's why you end up on the outside looking in, because you're not praying, you worrying. So it's just oh, Lord, if you liked me a little this week and forgave me for what I did 15 years ago and nobody knows but you. And I'm just a humble bad man. And I've done such wrong in this earth. But if you could find. You know how pathetic you sound? And people do it all the time. Remind God everything wrong they did. Well, in 75. In 75, you didn't have to let me get out of it, but you did. And in 90, when I forgot again, and in 2010, I just forgot, I messed up. Stop, man. Knock it off. That's ridiculous silliness. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassed. You embarrass God when you act like that. God is not that type of dude to keep a record of your error. Stop, man. Grow up. Get better. Learn how to pray. Number 6. The law of humility. Be humble. Be humble, man. Be humble. I've never seen so many prideful people. Humility is saying I have a problem. Humility is saying I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. Guys, guys, I am the therapist to thousands. To thousands. I have thousands of supporters. I have thousands of readers all over the world in the areas of marriage, education, substance abuse. I have thousands of supporters. But here's the deal. Guys, you're not going to get any help until you say, hey, I need help. I need help. I need help. You got to be humble. I need help. And I'm saying right now, me, even as a therapist, I need help. I need guidance. As a husband and father, I need help. As being a parent and learning how to be a good dad and a good husband, I need guidance. And I can level with myself. I know who I'm not. I know who I am, and I know who I'm not. And I need guidance. And that's the first law of healing, is acknowledging I need help and being humble. And being, humility is it. Number 7, and the last law of the Spirit, is the precious law of the guilty conscience, which means people are going to have to figure out a way to not walk around guilty about things, as I just said, things that they've done. When your conscience is beating you, your life is basically in the toilet. A guilty conscience will give you cancer. I mean, it will. It's like, what guilty conscience does is eats up good cells. So it's like a good cell killer. It's like a red blood cell killer. When you're guilty about something, that means you wronged somebody. You did something wrong. You lied. You cheated, and you kept it to yourself. And the only person who knows is you. This is something that I believe you need to know. It's something you need to be aware of. The guilty conscience is a way that your spirit never gets healthy. Many people feel bad about things that go on, and they allow people to continue to let them feel bad. I mean, even parents. Well, when you were a kid, you remember when you did that too? Man, why you talking like you think you better than me? See that? First of all, if you have friends or a circle like that, you're on the way going nowhere. You're going to be stuck forever if you have friends that will not let you grow or heal and always want to remind you of what you did wrong. That's not friends. You can't heal that way. These, my friends, are the precious 7 laws of healing the inner spirit. Once again, in review, that's the law of love, the law of faith, the law of right words, the law of time, the law of prayer appropriately, the law of being humble, humility, and the law of avoiding a guilty conscience. Learning how to avoid a guilty conscience. Now we're ready for the 7 laws. So first of all, raise your hand if you got that. Raise your hand if you got that. Everybody in America, around the world, raise your hand if you got those 7. Raise your hand. Okay. Right now, if you got that right now, you need to call in right now. It's 248-796-8241. Once again, that's 248-796-8241. Let me say that again. 248-796-8241. Okay, I'm ready to roll. All right, so next 7. Number 1, for healing the mind. It is the law of human potential and maximizing your personal potential. So think about this. Mentally, what happens is if you don't use your mind, you'll get rickets of the mind. So if you're not a reader, if you're not a person who's always pumping the right thing into here, you'll get rickets of the mind and you'll actually become a non-productive person. What I found which grows the mind is when you are on a mission to develop your purpose. The way purpose is designed in this life is about being able to be at the right place. People used to say right place, right time. No, right place, right people. So think about this. When you're in the right location, you meet the right people. See, and so this is why a lot of people fail in certain environments, because the wrong people are there. That's why a lot of people marry the wrong person. They were at the wrong place. They went to the wrong college, they went to the wrong church, and they met all the wrong people. If everybody in your life is wrong, you're going to get a wrong outcome. And this is something that is so precious to learn. Success is only governed by location. Success is only dictated by location. You have got to get yourself in the right place, because the right place will help you meet the right people. When you meet the right people, you have the right level of production. When you have the right level of production, it shows up as the most important P, which is profit. Place, people, production, profit. So you have to ask yourself, when you go to maximize your potential, is where should I be? Most people get hurt in a place they shouldn't have been. They met a guy at the club. They met a guy at their friend's church. They met a guy at a church they shouldn't be going to. They met a guy working at a job that they shouldn't have had. They met a guy at a college they didn't want to go to. They have to know where to be. If you don't know where to be, you're a walking trap, and you're going to have a hard time staying successful. The first law of success is the law of human potential, which is completely governed by location. What's the most important thing in real estate? Location, location, location. Success. The most important thing is in success and being successful is location, location, location. Finding where you're supposed to be. You're not designed to be everywhere. You're not designed to be successful in any location. You're designed to be successful where you were supposed to be. Where you're supposed to be is where people who need you. And that's how you know, where people who appreciate you, love you, and take advantage. I always say in business, I go where the places where people show me the most love and appreciation. What kind of love and appreciation is that? It's shown with doing business with me. There's a lot of people who would love to come and look at my books. They say, "Oh man, that's a nice book. Oh, those are nice books, man. Oh, that's really good. How much are these? Right? Really, dude?" I go places, people don't even ask how much they are. They just pick them off of the table and say how much after they picked them up and said, "I'm getting them." You understand what I'm saying? It's location. This is why a lot of times people have to move and go to the place they're supposed to be. And that place is put inside of you by creation. Everybody's got a place. Everybody's got one. It's your job to find out where you're supposed to be. Where are you supposed to be? Because of the hurt that you're experiencing, most of the hurts that you're getting is because you shouldn't be there. And if your husband is in Atlanta and you living in Detroit, guess what? You're going to meet a lot of people who you have no business even knowing. You know what that's called? Misery, broken heart, negative stories, baby daddies, stuff that should have never happened. I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody. Am I talking to you? I think so. Number 2, the law of expectation. The law of expectation says what I expect happens. So what I expect happens. So what I expect happens. Okay? What I expect happens. What I expect happens. What I expect happens. So if I expect 20,000 downloads on this, I'm going to get it. So guess what I'm going to expect? I'm going to expect 50,000 downloads. And I'm going to expect new listeners to this program that have never listened before. I'm going to expect new shares. You know what? So what I'm saying, you only going to get what you expect. And I expect this to be the most downloaded program in the history of the station. I wouldn't have came if I didn't think so. I came, they told, before we came on, they were telling me, well, this person did about 20,000, and another person did 14, and another person did 5. I said, I'm going to add up how many they did, and I'm going to just go ahead and beat that right out the gate. Crush them. 50,000. Set a new standard. Put the station on the map. People all over the world want to be a part of it and come here to the Worship Center Radio and listen to all of the nourishment that you have for the human spirit, because that's how you can change your life. Number 3, the law of knowledge. Man, you going to need to know something. The day of living stupid is over. There's no other way to put it. Man, what do you know? How many books do you read? How much knowledge are you getting? Are you listening to these downloads? Are you downloading things that's building up your mentality? Okay, you got to build up your spirit. Got it. Check. Cool. But what new knowledge are you putting in your brain? What new book have you read? Did you know one piece of study said the difference between a $500,000 sales employee and a $50,000 sales employee was a book a month? Are you telling me that knowledge is that critical to the bottom line? Yeah. Yeah, guys. It's everything. And you're not going to grow beyond what you know. So if you don't know anything, you're not going to heal. You need new knowledge about eating, new knowledge about sleeping, new knowledge about friends, new knowledge about skills that help you improve your level of employment. You need new knowledge. You have to work on yourself. Everybody out here has to work on themselves. I'm working on myself. You need to work on yourself straight up. All of us have to do our work. It's no shortcut around this. You can be a hero and be out here pushing all that junk and thinking that you're going to get some mysterious miracle that just floats in until you do your work yourself, till you do your work. We all have personal work to do. If my heart's been broken, I have to work on it. I have to take the steps to protect it. The writer said to guard your heart with all diligence. What is the diligence? Effort. Hello. Everybody say I love Dr. Jackson, and Dr. Jackson loves me. You know I love you. Let's come on. Let's keep going. Number 4, the law of negative emotions. The law of negative emotions. Bitterness, unforgiveness, strife, contention, covetousness, bitterness. These are the type of things that you would have to identify. If you ever catch yourself complaining, being negative, always know you're on the wrong road. A complainer is a train wreck waiting to happen. If you listen to somebody complain, you're a part of the problem. It's something that you should absolutely consider. Number 5, the law of unforgiveness. Who have you failed to forgive? You got to forgive people, man. I never thought we live in a time where people would just be so bitter and angry and hostile and won't forgive people. People are bitter with their mother. And that's what I'm saying to America. America, listen. Why do you have to be on your deathbed before you forgive your or go apologize to your children? I mean, you're just so mad and so bitter. That's not a way to live. You better think it through. Number 6, the law of self-forgiveness. Meaning, who should you have to... Most of the time, the person you need to forgive is who? Me. The person I need to work on is who? Me. I need to forgive me for a lot of the errors I made against me in my life. See, I need to work on me and forgive me. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself. And forgiving yourself a lot of times will get you over the hump. You need to forgive yourself. People do dumb stuff. Don't call it mistakes, because most of the stuff we're doing is just straight up dumb and we knew it was wrong and we did it anyway. So to call it a mistake is you had no intent. We're not talking about you didn't have an intent of getting caught. No, we're talking about you thought you were ignorant. You didn't know. You thought you were right. You were wrong. No, if you do dumb stuff, we do dumb stuff. Some people do more dumb stuff than others. Okay, so you have to accept that and accept it for what it is and just say forgive yourself. And the most powerful thing for me, law number 7 of healing the mind, is the law of listening and being focused. I like to call it get focused and stay focused. Get focused and stay focused. Who should you be focusing on? You. Don't tell me what nobody else is doing. I do not like to talk to people who talk about anything other than themselves. You know, people say, well, we're not talking about arrogance and vanity and ignorance. That's foolish. We're talking about minding your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. You mind your own business. Stop talking about other people. Stop talking about what other people are doing. You need to get a life and you need to worry about you and improving your situation. Those are the 7 laws of healing the mind and getting a new perspective. Number 1, law of purpose. So being able to maximize your potential and know where you're supposed to be. Most important thing is always right location. Law of expectations, what you expect, you'll get. Law of knowledge. You just cannot keep living this life being silly and stupid and think you can live on some knowledge you had 5 years ago. This is a real-time world. A lot is going on. You have to become a reader. And okay, if you don't want to become a reader, you're going to have to figure out a way. In the car, you shouldn't be listening to the radio unless you are listening to the worship center radio and download it. But you shouldn't be listening to music and playing around. You need to use your car as a mobile classroom. We don't have any time to be jamming to the jams and popping. You can get a college degree on your way to work by listening to, over the course of a year, you'll be able to get a college degree in knowledge that you listen to books on tape, listening to good sermons, good messages. But why don't you listen to some books on tape to give you a new skill set, a new knowledge, how to eat better, how to start a business, how to improve your relationships. That's the things we need to be doing. Law of negative emotions, identify them. Complainers and bitter people are headed down that deal called cancer and an early death. That's a fact. The law of unforgiveness, you got to forgive people. People do stupid stuff. People do violate you. I mean, you got to let them go for you. You're not forgiving for them. You're forgiving because why do I want to let you stay in my heart and my mind? The molester. Why does the molester get to stay in your head? Why does your father who did you wrong get to stay in your head and controlling you? The person who hurt you stay in your mind? No. The law of self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. We do dumb things and stupid things, and we make mistakes. Forgive yourself. Give yourself a break. How about that? That would help. And most importantly, getting focused and staying focused. We're coming down the home stretch. Everybody raise your hand and say if you've got anything out of this, your mind has grown. You've learned something. Raise your hand to this point. Everybody get your hand up. Everybody in the country, get your hand up. Now, what is your job right now? Here's your job. I need you to share this post and this link with 10 people who you love, who you know would benefit. And now, go to extra mile. Share it with 10 people you don't know but want to make a friend with. Say, hey, I heard this. This will help you. I'm going to send you the link. If you'll take the challenge, show your hand. Appreciate it. Down the home stretch, the last 7, which is the laws of healing our precious body. Okay, so remember, we start with feeding the human spirit, renewing the mind, getting new knowledge, new information, new clarity, and then we'll start seeing our life change when we think differently. When I start thinking differently as a businessman, I got much better results. I am a much better business guy than I was in 2012. Okay, I mean, we were doing good, but we weren't doing as good as we could have. And I went and took 3 years to get smarter. And I took a lot of courses. I did a lot of training. I got a lot of toolage in there. And I feel like right now I'm a really, really good, strong business person because I learned. And that's what you need to do. So, coming down the home stretch, these are the last 7, the most important. Healing the body. Number 1 is called the law of what? Environment. That means you have no chance of getting well if you're in the wrong space. You got no shot. So think about this. People who get colds typically are someplace where they're interfacing with germs or an unhealthy environment. I always tell cancer patients, if you have cancer, it's come on you. I always tell them go to Caramel, California for 30 days. If you got the resources, it takes about 10 grand. Go if you just got it and don't care and they told you you're going to die. Just say, okay, forget it. I'm going to Caramel. I'm going to be here. I'm telling you, God lives in Caramel, California. Trust me. There's no worries, none but water. It's always hot, even in the winter. I don't know how that works, but it's so therapeutic. Everybody's nice. It's just so peaceful, and it allows you to reflect and get well. Guys, a lot of people stay sick because they live in sick places. They live in sick houses. They live in sick family relationships, and they can't get well. If you are in a bad environment, you have no chance of getting healed. And ever think about it? Why they send people back to impoverished homes in the belief that they're going to get healthy. It just, think about it. And if you're living someplace you don't want to live, you're not going to be healthy. It's something we should think about. So the law of environment, you have to control your environment and get in the right place, get in a healing environment, a healing environment. Number 2, the law of intake. You cannot eat silly and get well. You know, as people go through a breakup and divorce, and first thing they start doing is go get chocolate, chili fries, cornbread, beef, barbecue, pulled pork, and things. So there's 3 meats in the world that I think are of record, and I'm going to pose it to the world. They are pork, beef, and chicken. So which of the 3 do you believe that probably you need to do something about? Now, most people always say, well, I take the pork out. I'm going to present to you and really leave you with this on this episode. If you had one to eliminate and had no question about it that would change your health forever, take the chicken out of the paradigm. It'll change your life forever. People say, chicken? What's wrong with chicken? You do your homework. You better off having a good grade A piece of beef any day than messing with chicken. That's a free tip. Law of intake. You can't eat like a fool and get well. You can't drink sugar beverages and stay healthy. You cannot do it. You need 2 liters of water a day in your body, and you have to eliminate the sugar and the flour and the salt. Those are cancer foods. Help yourself. Give yourself a shot to get better. There's some people going through depression, they pack on pounds. It's because of what they're eating. They call it comfort food. There's no comfort in food that's going to cause you to lose your life early and live a poor quality of life. Number 3, the law of sleep and rest. My colleague, Dr. Carl Freeman at Detroit Wayne State University, changed my life years ago when he said that not getting enough sleep is as damaging as using street drugs. What? He was like, oh, yeah. He was like, people who don't sleep, they should do better go ahead and use some crack if they're going to do that, because they're getting the same outcome. And I checked and I said, man, this guy's right. So people who don't get those 6 hours in are damaging their body internally. Sleep is actually designed for you to allow your body to come back. Now, if you're one of those hard-headed people, like some of you overachievers in the world, if you're going to get those 4 hours of sleep a night, let it always be from when? 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's when your healing hormones are working and your body is recovering. Okay, so if you just have to practice, going to sleep. You can't live this life of burn your body out. Your body will turn on you. Number 4, law of sexual purity. You got to just stop dropping it like it's hot, folks. I mean, why are you getting in all these emotional relationships, having sex with people? It's not working, man. It's not working, dude. Stop. It's not working. And you notice all these relationships you get in with, either your heart's getting broke or you breaking somebody's heart. Who told us it's all right to have a broke heart or break folks' hearts? Are you thinking emotions are not involved in that? You're not even thinking. We actually need to dedicate an entire episode to sex. It would be good for America and break it down to clear it up, because right now we are making some really, really bad choices. Breaking hearts, having sex, dropping it like it's hot. Pull your pants up, all of you out there. Knock it off. Number 5, the law of exercise, man. Go walk, man. Go walk. Go outside. Get your mile in a day, man. You'll save your life. Number 6, the law of doctors. Doctors only going to take you so far. Doctors and medicine can help you only to this much degree. Doctors are trained in medicine. They're not trained in health. They take one health class in medical school. That should be the red light for you. Your health is your responsibility. Your doctor's job is to give you medicine that solves your physical problems, not to teach you health. And always remember that. Number 7, the most important that I think is always a hidden one is the law of loving your parents. I've been able to find that about half of America's, their sickness's root is to the bitterness they hold against their parents. Folks, if you missed everything I said, if you and your parents are not on the same page, you've had a rift at some time in history, and notice it comes up from time to time. You gotta love your parents. I've never seen a generation that is in such disgust for their parents. They'll say they love their mother, but they curse at her. They'll say, well, I love my mama. That's mama. But they curse her out. They have sex in mama's house. They bring drugs in mama's house. They don't go to school, so they disrespect their mother, but they say they love her. You know, they mad at their father. They curse their father. They'll say, that ain't my daddy. I don't have no father. My mother's my father and my daddy. That's disrespect to your parents. You got to respect your parents. It's the first law that the Creator gave us that would guarantee things will go good with us. You can't play that little game. Wellness. If you're not well and you're not healthy and you're bitter and you're dealing with depression, you're on all those medications, you got thyroids, you got diabetes. I had a colleague in New York say, checking her breast, I think I'm having an issue with my breast. I think I'm finding a lump. But then we start peeling it back. We see there's hatred towards her parents. She's bitter. Guys, you can't live like that. You're going to have to love your parents. Parents don't deserve love. The Creator said, show respect. Show honor, and that is what gives you the opportunity to heal, recover, and have a good life. Folks, listen, I got much more for you, but I think I set you on a course towards getting well, and we have to thank the Right Reverend Harvey for what a wonderful opportunity for the people.
And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, Dr. Jackson. We're going to have you back many, many more times. It's so much. You can't do everything in just 2 hours.
No.
Just 2 hours. You can't do everything. But I do want to, in the last minute that we do have here, I want to introduce a couple of books that you have here. Now, I have several. I don't know how many. I've lost count. 15, 20. All of them are real good. They're good and they're therapeutic. But this one here, my favorite one, we don't have it today. Don't Be the Right Woman with the Wrong Man. That's mine. I want to introduce you to How to Avoid, How to Avoid Divorce. Fantastic book. This is a 16 marriage counseling session in one book. Contact me. You'll be able to pick up those textbooks. Mama Issues. Some of you are, as he just finished saying, if you don't love your parents, you can't do well. Mama Issues. Selfish mothers ruin their children's lives. That also is one by Dr. Jackson. We have another one quickly. I Am Not a Victim. Every woman of rape, molestation should have this book in their library. I Am Not a Victim. God bless you. I love you. We have enjoyed Dr. Jackson. Call the number 248-796-8241 and you'll
Thank you for
contact
listening to the Preached Word broadcast. Fellowship with us at the Rose of Sharon Christian Assembly, located at 19337 Conant, Detroit, Michigan, between East 7 Mile Road and East Outer Drive. Fellowship with us and our Sunday worship service at 11 a.m. Contact us at 313-570-8305 or email any special prayer request to revcdharvey@yahoo.com. Visit our webpage at worshipcenterradio.net. Thanks again for listening. Tune in again next Thursday at 8 p.m. And I'll see you in the next worship service at 11 a.m. at the Rose of Sharon Christian Assembly. God bless you.